Hi, I'm Botticelli, and this is the Storyteller Forecast for Libra for May 2018. Go to my website, anniehelpsyou.com. Check out my extensive blog, where my intention is to arm you with resources to most maximize the present and upcoming transits. So there's many different blogs that can help you with current transits and other things in astrology and in other areas of life. If you would love to be an astrologer, a coach, or bring your business online, check out my vocational school, Shine Your Brilliance University, at anniehelpsyou.com. Maybe I can help. So what's going on in the month of May? We've got this sweet spot before the eclipses start to get crazy, bring crazy events and major changes. We have this sweet spot that's after the Mercury retrograde. We also have this sweet spot before Mars retrograde really starts getting going. So it's the best opportunity to get things done that we have from now on until the middle of December, and bring new things out, although you can get lots of things done in the backdrop, which I have a separate video about that, how to use these personal planet retrogrades to be very productive, the kind of things you can do, so you can see that on my website. But in general, the theme of the month for Libras is claiming your sacred space. There is this natural way of Libra to partner with others. And often with the energy of Libra comes this weird kind of polarity of being so independent, but also being really very enmeshed with your relationships, to the point where codependency can be an issue. So the goal then is to strive towards interdependence. Interdependence is where each individual can exist self-sufficiently on their own, but they merge their sufficiency and their gifts together to create this beautiful enhancement and synergy from connecting. So there's this ongoing theme, short-term and long-term, for you to claim your sacred space as a way to notice the difference between your energy fields and other people's energy fields. There are aspects in the short-term and long-term in your fourth house, and this will affect all of you, where it has to do with, and especially this Mars retrograde is going to be very much focused. All of you are going to have some of this going on, which is getting your home space in the way that you need it to be, carving out sacred space within your home space. Maybe you need to buy a new home. Maybe you need to live alone. Maybe you need to live with someone and you're alone now. You know, trying to figure out how you can best shift your home situation to claim your sacred space so that you can be more energized and clear, so that you can merge with other people in growing, magical ways. Something else that is a spiritual principle that I want to mention to be supported for this time is that you can have peace at any moment. This is a choice that you can make, where you can remember that what other people say doesn't have to affect you, and you can still choose peace. Peace is a choice that you make. And sometimes you have to make it every second, and sometimes it lasts for longer. But choosing peace, creating peace, clearing out the things that are blocking peace, making something like making your home a haven. This is going to be a major theme for Libras in this period of time, in the ongoing time in the retrograde, where you convert your whole home or part of your home through a garden, through a meditation space, through having your own room within the space. There's a reason why some older generations were able to be together for 70 years. If you notice, most of them slept alone or in a different bed in the same room, and most of them had their own room that they could do their own things in. And this is one of the things that I want you to take with you, to see how you can blend this coming together with people in business, in partnership, in all kinds of relationship, while paying attention to not people pleasing in a way that is to your detriment, and moving towards interdependence. So we've got some opportunities for travel this month. You've got, we all have Venus in the sign of Gemini, which makes people restless and wanting to do something. And then we've got this full moon in Sagittarius towards the end of the month, but you also have Venus moving through the 9th house. So this could bring, and this is going to be so at the beginning of the month for you early degree placements, it's going to be staggered. So it'll take a little longer to get there into May for you middle degree placements. And then towards the end of the month will be more prominent for you later degree placements. But this energy of Venus in the 9th house brings my grandma Marge's blessings to your 9th house. My grandma Marge is one of my Italian relatives, and she would always, I've described her before, she's a small woman who always seemed to be shorter than me even when I was a kid. She would grab me by the face, kiss me on the mouth, shove a meatball in my mouth, and hand me some money. So this is the energy of Venus, and wherever it goes in your chart, that Grandma Marge is there, giving you sustenance, giving you food, giving you meatballs or soy balls or whatever you eat. You know, just like from the money and the emotional, just wrapping you in yumminess. And this sector is, the 9th house is coming into focus. So that has to do with international connections, and it could be associated with travel or just interacting with people in an international way. It could also be publishing, writing, speaking, blogs, teaching, learning. Major learning opportunities, major teaching opportunities can also come up from this transit. So Grandma Marge for you middle to later degree placements is first going to be blessing your sector of deep intimacy. So if somebody close to you or a company or a new law or something wants to give you money or sustenance, try to not turn your nose up to it and try not to be stubborn and just accept in the help. Okay, so these are the things that are most going on in my mind to help you, Libra, for May. Now I want to talk about the individual transits that are going to be prominent that you will notice, the dates they occur, and what you can expect with those. So the theme of the month for May 2018 for all signs is coming up for air. We have positioned nicely in the midst of this trend of personal planets being retrograde that started March 8th and runs through the middle of December. We've got this little period where we come up for air from the retrograde process. Also, we're coming up for air in this brief window between the eclipse cycles. So we have 3 eclipses in July and August, 2 in July, 1 in August. Starting in June, even towards the end of May, you might feel some of this. The eclipse changes, radical information coming in, news, trajectory shifts that could be unexpected or worked towards, but all of a sudden they come. So in this little pocket here in May, we're clear of the Mercury retrograde that preceded it. We're clear for a little while of the Mars retrograde that begins June 26th and runs through August 26th. The shadow period for Mars retrograde starts on May 11th. So May 4th through May 11th, we're completely clear of any personal planets retrograde. However, with every day that passes after May 11th, we're going to go deeper into that shadow period, and ambitions may tend to wane. That's one of the big factors of Mars retrograde, is that drive goes backwards. Okay, so people get more lazy, and you can sync your life with this transit. I do. I have Aries rising, so I'm very much connected to this Mars transit because Mars is an Aries ruler, but this will affect everybody. I plan for this period of time now as a relaxing, taking a break. So I go gung-ho all in the time before it, and I plan things for the time after it. But this sweet little spot is amazing for vacations. It's amazing for rest. It's amazing for staycations. So you can use this wisely. You just have to plan for it accordingly. Okay, so if the lesson is, if you've got things you've got to push through anytime this year and you don't want to wait until December, try to do it in May. Okay, if you are a person with Mars retrograde in your chart, you might start to get zippy as everyone else starts to tone down. And if that's the case, good for you, but you will be in the minority. Something else going on in May that's ongoing from March into July is that Jupiter is in retrograde. So when Jupiter's in retrograde, this is a time to scale back efforts. And this is a beautiful combination of a lesson that Mars is also giving us. Because Mars, when it's in retrograde, one of the best ways to use it is to seek to do things in more efficient ways so that you do less work with greater outcomes. Jupiter retrograde tells us the same thing. So Jupiter, in its expanded forward motion, wants to make everything bigger and wider and more breadth, right? So when it's in retrograde, it looks for the places where you're spread too thin and it pulls them in, okay? So you have incentive to cut back, trim the fat, evaluate everything in your life to see where you're putting energy, where it's no longer useful and where it's no longer bringing energy back to you. Okay, so I'm going to go through my favorite aspects to watch for this month. You can get a written version of what I'm about to describe, as well as many more transits and details about them in my newsletter, my free newsletter at anniehelpsyou.com. If you've already signed up for my newsletter and you're not getting newsletters, I send them regularly. So check in your spam, promotions, events folder, social events folders, because sometimes mass emails go into those folders and you can transfer them from those folders into your inbox to give your email service the message that you want those emails. Okay, also something to know about what I'm about to describe is that I'm going to give you dates, but sometimes you feel these energies on days before or days after. So don't stick too heavily to the dates. Just use your intuition to tune into the flow to see when you're feeling something, because it could be before or after. Okay. On May 8th and then on May 23rd, the Sun in Taurus and then Mercury in Taurus is going to make an opposition to Jupiter in Scorpio. This can give a tendency to overdo. In some ways, you have permission to overdo this month because you really need to get as much done as you can while the energy is good for it. But do couple that with taking your vitamins, getting your rest, trying to balance that energy so you don't do too much. Also, with the things you're creating, make sure you're not spreading yourself too thin, because as the tides come in for the rest of the year, you don't want to overcommit. So just be very wary of overcommitting, overdoing, oversaying, and even overthinking. Okay, on May 11th, one of my favorite aspects of the month is the Sun in Taurus trine Pluto in Capricorn. This is an amazing aspect for getting things done. If you have to plan launch dates, anything like that, important things around this day are very powerfully supported. In the middle of the month, we have a series of aspects that are all piled on top of one another and are each intense in their own right. Okay, so look out for a lot of energy and events in the middle of the month. We've got the new moon in Taurus at 24 degrees of Taurus. That's time for your new moon wishes. You can check out my website. If you go to anniehelpsyou.com, click on blog, click on astrology. The maximizing new moon in Taurus power period is on there. Okay, so you want to maximize those wishes. You can see more about that on that blog. A very big event that's happening at this time is Uranus is moving into the sign of Taurus. This has been in the making for 7 years or so. It takes about 7 years for Uranus to move through a sign. The last time Uranus was in Taurus was between 1935 and 1942. I won't list some of the pretty crazy and intense world events that happened at that time, but most of you know what happened at that time. It was very transformative and eventful series of time. And so we are in for many changes, maybe not exactly the same kind of things, but a lot of change. Something that also happened that's lesser known during the periods of time of 1935 to 1942 that we are set for in the next coming 7 years was and now is a rapid increase in technological advancement, including going to things in outer space, space exploration, anything with technology, anything with forward movement and planning. Also massive developments in mathematics, physics, any of the sciences and maths, medicine. There were major and technology of any kind. So there was massive expansion during that time. So we are set for this massive expansion. And it could be that you are part of this process. So if you have really good ideas, this is a period of time where you might create something that could be life-changing for yourself and other people. So definitely follow those nudges, because intuitive insight for advancement will be very much expanded during this transit. Okay, so we've got between the 15th and 16th, Mars in Aquarius, also squaring Uranus in this new placement of Taurus. So there could be, we've experienced this, like I said, the energy of Uranus and Taurus before, but we've also experienced this aspect of Mars in squaring Uranus before. So between May 12th and May 19th is when we really feel this aspect. The first May 10th is where it really might start. The second pass is going to be between July 28th and August 6th of 2018. And then the third and final aspect of this will be September 17th through 22nd of 2018. Okay, so this can bring solar flares and their natural counterparts, which are volatility and aggression, also drastic and dramatic weather changes and events. Uranus and Taurus can also bring those things. So if you are a person, well, I mean, really nobody is safe from these, you know, these dramatic weather and climate events. But if you are in a situation where you're more prone to these problems, then just take extra caution, be extra aware, and follow your intuition. If something is telling you not to be in a certain place at a certain time, to sell somewhere, to buy somewhere, etc. Because these energies with these dates I just outlined will be flared, and then also this will be a theme getting stronger for the next 7 years. My next favorite date of the month is May 18th. The first was the 11th. The 18th has Mercury in Taurus making a trine to Saturn in Capricorn. So this is another great day, time, or period of time to get things done. You'll have to dance around these other energies that I just talked about because they will be pretty intense and they may not be the best for trying to do important things, but you just have to tune into your intuition and follow the flow. Okay, so even though on May 18th, we will be in the Mars shadow period. If you're feeling froggy, jump. That's the lesson of this time. Anything that you feel really drawn to do in May, get it done because ambitions are likely to wane. The second to last notable event that I want to talk about is on May 25th, and this is Jupiter in Scorpio trining Neptune in Pisces. So this is a lineup of heavy hitter outer planets. When we have outer planets that connect, it always spans a longer, the span of influence is longer than these other planets that are quicker moving. So we first experienced this in December 2017, and this is the second aspect. So this aspect can bring optimism and generosity. It can also bring major spiritual breakthroughs. I really love this aspect for combining idealism and material success. So we could say the lesson of this transit would be that financial success and spirituality can coincide. Okay, this is a big lesson for many people here doing healing work, is thinking that they can't be materially cared for or have material ambitions while also being spiritual. And so this transit is helping us to blend those two. On May 29th, we have the full moon in Sagittarius. Mercury also enters Gemini, so this is amazing for travel, expansion, communication. This whole month is amazing for travel. And with the full moon in Sag and the planets in Gemini, people are going to want to move. They're going to be really restless. So this is one of my favorite months for travel. You do have to watch out, especially at the middle of the month, for some things. Also, if you're a traveler and you're going to be traveling during May, definitely go to my new travel website, Astrology Kissed Travel Bliss, and check out my monthly astrology travel reports because I go into more details about aspects that can be specifically related to travel. And also other inspiration and fun things there. Okay, so this last aspect on the 29th can bring anything with Sagittarius to drama or fruition. Okay, so publishing, teaching, learning, completing an education, getting ready to start an education because you've completed a certain phase in your life, writing, speaking, anything with religious or spiritual pursuits, churches, and like I said, travel. So many people will have a very blessed, wonderful travel opportunity, even if it's for short distance, could turn out to be for long distance around this period of time. So these are the things I have most on my mind for May 2018. I have a longer list of aspects to look out for when you sign up for my newsletter, AnnieHelpsYou.com. And I give them to you a month early. Also, if you'd like a written version of horoscopes, not necessarily talking about things that I talk about in your personal videos, then go to cozybysweetstarlight.com. That is my lifestyle website that is also kissed by astrology with these horoscopes. So I love to give you massive amounts of resources to work with these transits. Okay, so you've got the newsletter, Annie Helps You. You've got Astrology Kiss Travel Bliss for your travel reports and other travel information. You've got Cozy by Sweet Starlight for your horoscopes. And then also check out my blog on Mars Retrograde and my video on Mars Retrograde and my blog on how best to use the time when planets are in retrograde. And that's at anniehelpsyou.com. Okay, so if you would love to learn astrology with me, or you would love to be a coach as your profession, or you would love to bring your business online, check out my vocational school, Shine Your Brilliance University, at anniehelpsyou.com. If you'd love to have audio tracks that help to mitigate and enhance and utilize the transits of the time, my brilliant husband, B.R. Newman, creates these audio tracks, subliminal audio tracks that you can access for free on his website at iamhelios.com, iamhelios.com. He also does readings. So I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.